Dave Weiss here again with the Glue Bomb Show. Now, I had already recorded a section of this and my computer froze, so unfortunately I'm not going to be able to give you quite all the build details that I had hoped to give. I'll show you what I've been working on. Okay, I did the body. I painted it. Again, I used rattle cans on the shorts and on the shirt, and then I went over that with some gray acrylic to kind of dirty up the shirt a little, give it a little more dimensionality. Did the same thing with the pants using an orange, and that seemed to come out well too. I put there's a hello, my name is Mad Maestro on the front, and I also put Band Geek on the back. Now, I got to tell you guys the truth. I know a lot of people who do classical music in one form or another, and I don't think any of them are showing up on stage like this. I gave him a tattoo that says no regrets. I always kind of like that. And the other arm is pretty much blank. But I painted these all a peachy kind of flesh tone that was what the box had. So I did it just like the box art. I'm going to do that for this one. I have another idea for another one if I decide to pick one up. You see he's got red claws just like on the box. And I did his face. Now I wanted to show you how I did this hair. And it ended up I had the whole thing recorded, and then I looked up to show you guys something, and I realized I was no longer moving, which meant the computer froze. So I didn't get to show you how I did this hair, but basically here's his face. You see I painted his face details, his eyes. He's got a gold tooth on this side. After I finished painting everything, I did a black wash over the teeth so you can really see the cracks between the teeth. The hair is like a long strand of yarn with fringes on it. And there's a post that this hat glues onto, and I started winding it around with a little bit of glue so it'll hold in place, and then finally I put the hat on, and I felt like I could only use a little bit of the hair, but he just didn't quite look wild and woolly enough, so I decided to run another bead of glue just outside where I had the original and laid in the rest of the hair, and I think it came out pretty well. So that's the head. The head is done. Like I say, all my painting is done. I clear-coated everything over the decals, clear-coated our little rock base here. We're going to look at that in a little bit. Okay, now you remember I said I skipped a couple of steps in construction here for painting purposes. We're going to straighten some of that out right now. Again, I already mounted his teeth, his front teeth, which are an extra piece. I have an idea for another one of these kits. I might get another one. I haven't decided yet because, frankly, right now, I don't have a ton of build time. So I don't know if I'm going to get to do this or not. But my favorite band in the world is a band called Rush. And Rush has a song called Superconductor. And I thought, how cool would it be to make one of these into a superconductor character? Again, I don't know if I'm going to be able to make it happen or not. I don't know if I'm going to want to, you know. I kind of want to see how this whole thing goes together because I'm thinking there's going to be some sculpting involved. I want to change things up a little bit, and I don't exactly know how that's going to work with the mechanics. That's why a big part of the reason why I started to build this thing pretty box stock. So anyway, we've got our arms here, and it looks like we've got one hand that's a little more open than the other hand. The one hand, the hand goes sort of flat, and that's supposed to be open, I guess about like that. You know what, guys, I'm going to hold off on gluing these into place. I'm just going to place them for now. His hands are white. It's supposed to look like he has white gloves on. I don't know how that's going to look. And, okay, see, this one's really tight. I'm going to have to, I just popped the seam. Oh, that's just fantastic. So, anyway, I'm going to put them on for now. I'm going to pose them later because I have a feeling, that's easy to figure out. That is on the wrong hand. Because when you have your arm, it doesn't go like this. So, I'm going to switch these up. That's an easy way to tell, right? If the thumb's going in the wrong direction, you have the wrong hand on the wrong arm. Again, I decided not to not to glue these into place just yet. They're actually in the assembly instructions. You're supposed to do that right when you build them. But I wanted to make sure that I could get the pieces, to get the painting done well. So I left the hands off for later. And now I'm all set with that. Okay, so the next step in our instructions is to mount our feet to the base. Now one of the feet has two small holes on the bottom. There are two holes on the peg, on the base, excuse me. So we're going to glue that, and it appears that they go this way. I'm going to glue that in place. He's got a little foot pad in the front there that you can see. I'll get some cement on there. Don't try this at home, kids. I am a professional. No, actually, I'm not. That's part of the issue. All right, so we're going to mount his foot. This one gets glued into place. Again, we're going to make sure that pegs line up. We're going to glue this, and we're going to have to let this sit for a little bit. And then this other piece has a long peg on the bottom. It goes in like this. Now, I'm noticing that that's a little bit of a tight fit. And I don't think I want it to be a tight fit, because I'm pretty sure this is where most of the motion comes from. So we're going to just kind of work that in and out a little bit. I'm going to remove, seems like maybe my paint made this a little tight. Okay, that's better. Yeah. And then there is a piece inside. This is one of our mechanical pieces. And it says do not cement it to the hole, but I'm not sure whether or not I'm supposed to cement it to the foot on the bottom. So we're going to, the peg, you won't be able to see it, but the peg is half round, and so is the hole. And so we're going to want to make sure that that half round lines up. And you know what, guys? It just kind of pops on, so I think I'm going to leave that alone. Because remember, he's supposed to shimmy and shake. So it kind of has a little motion here. I don't think I need to glue it. It seems like it's pretty secure. And so I'm going to leave that go for now. All right, so that's that. 2 feet mounted to the in position. Now, here we begin the mechanical instructions. Okay, we're back with the mechanical stuff. Once again, my computer left me down a little bit, and I'm afraid that this is already too far gone, but I have to show you this, okay? For the assembly of the switch, this little part here right in 9, it calls for eyelets. And the eyelets, I was thinking were plastic. They are not. They're brass. I was getting ready to start complaining about being missing pieces. And so I found them. They're brass eyelets, so if you get this kit, you'll need to know that. Also pay particular attention to the way the switch goes in. I kind of had myself messed up here for a minute, but I think I'm in business now. So, it says don't cement the switch in place, which makes sense. However, I did put a little bit of glue on the pin to make the pin sit at the right place. So, next step is to begin the electronic assembly. The motor comes with a little metal mounting piece. Again, remember, it's a motor because it's electric. So, it looks like it has 2 little screw holes in the back there. I'm going to go take care of that, and I'll be right back. Okay, now the next thing that happens, I mounted the switch, and you see I connected it to the one battery terminal that's right there behind my finger. Now the switch, it's kind of, it fits in there, but it's going to have to dry pretty thoroughly, I think, or we're going to be breaking it off every time we flip the switch, which of course we don't want to do because that would make model building less than fun. So the next thing I think we have here is there's a little cam. I don't know if you can see this, but it fits over the edge of the shaft of the motor, and it's got this little offset shaft on it. So I call it a cam. Maybe it's not, but I think it's kind of an elementary cam. So we're going to do that. We're going to just sort of press it onto the motor. It goes all the way on, fits nicely. And then that motor will fit in here. Now, I will say I'm a little perplexed by this operation here. And again, I am not mechanical, right? I'm not mechanical. If I was mechanical, I would build rail cars and, you know, have a good time with it. But they have little plastic pins in here that you're supposed to hook up. You're supposed to stick the motor on it, and it fits perfectly. But then you're supposed to bang it with a hammer, and with a like a nail or the end of a nail or something like that. But there's a problem. See, they already had to glue the feet to the top. So how do I do that without breaking the feet? I have no idea. But it appears that's the only way you can get the motor to sit in there and stay in. So I don't know how I'm going to do this. Well, at this point, I'm going to start just by hooking up the wires. By the way, I don't know about you, but I stripped a bunch more wiring, coating off these wires. Because I just feel like, first of all, there's way too much wire. And that's okay. But what's not okay is if the connections keep breaking. Again, I think I would really think seriously about putting a soldering iron to this. Because otherwise I think you're going to have leads coming off. Anyway, I'm going to do a little more trimming of these wires, and I will get back to you when I have this hooked up. There you have it. Now, the only thing that is missing out of this is a big old D battery. I'm going to have to figure out how to put that in. It shouldn't be a problem, but it looks like it is held in by a rubber band. By the way, battery and rubber band not included. So, I'm going to start mounting up some of the other parts, and we'll finish this puppy. Folks, part of being a good channel host is telling your viewers when you screw up. This one I screwed up. There's this little piece that goes on the end of the arm. It's very small, and it has a little hole in the bottom that has a slot in it. This is how you locate the arm. I had this on upside down. So I had to very carefully remove it with my X-Acto knife. And now I'm going to put it on the right way in hopes that the arms will stay on this thing and not look like this. Because that would not be fun. And again, model building is supposed to be fun. All right, confession time. These arms were something of a nightmare to mount. They did not really want to stay in place. This one arm is still giving me fits, but I think it's mainly because they have to be loose for the motion aspect of it. I might be wrong on that, but that's what I'm feeling at the moment. So, then after that, we attach the feet to the base, to the body. And I think we're in. Again, these arms are just driving me insane. But I have a feeling that's how they're going to be. If any of you have built this one and you have any clues about how to get them to mate up a little better, I would really appreciate that. But at this point, I think that's where we're at. He gets his little cane yet, his little conducting cane. Again, I have never seen a conductor ever use a cane to conduct, nor do I think that that ever really happens, beyond maybe somebody doing something as a joke. But here we go. One little cane. We're going to put a little glue on there, glue it into his hand. And I'm not sure how that's going to work at all. I would guess we're going to use it this way. And guess what? It's not staying in place. I think we might just have to glue bomb this puppy. Put some on his thumb. We're going to put some on the underside of his hand. And then we're going to stick it in there and sort of leverage it in hopes that as it balances, it will stick. And then finally, we just hang his head on. And it says, do not cement. So we're just going to hang it right on there. And he looks something like that. Now, I still don't think those arms are mounted right. I'm hoping to make some adjustments here because I feel like they should be higher. But anyway, so there he is. I still have to add the music stand. But you see how he bobbles, so that should be good just like that. But we're gonna wire it up too, so I'll show you that when it's time. And I'll put that music stand together and mount it, and tomorrow we're gonna grab a battery and make this thing fly. All right, take care. Here this morning, and I just put the battery in the Mad Maestro, and I have a confession to make. He doesn't work. He's not moving. I've tried flicking the switch and everything else, and I have not been able to get it to work. I'm going to keep trying on the electronics. We'll see what happens, but for now, he's a pretty good paperweight. Actually, he looks pretty good. I mean, overall, I'm happy with the build. It went together pretty well. The arms fit kind of drives me crazy, but it is what it is. And so, I don't know. I'm going to keep working and see if I can figure out what the problem is with this. But anyway, regardless, it came out pretty nicely, and I'm fairly happy with the kit. I got it cheap, you know, and so I recommend giving them a try anyway and seeing what happens. All right, so that's it. There's the Mad Maestro. Take care, everybody. Have a good day. One last thing, guys. Let me know what you think of this longer form video. I'm curious if this is a better way to go than some of the things I've been doing previously. Also, if you enjoy the videos, please make sure you subscribe and hit the notification bell so they get notified when I put new stuff up. I would really appreciate that. Thanks, everybody. I know this one didn't go quite as planned, but it was still fun, and remember, that's important because model building is supposed to be fun. Have a great day. God bless.